Lesson 1.5 is on radical equations, and I'm going to do homework problem number 8 for you. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so I have something in the parentheses on the left-hand side, and it's being raised to a 1/2 power. And I have something in the parentheses on the right-hand side, and it is also being raised to the 1/2 power. That's good because I need these to be similar roots in order to get rid of them. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is rewrite this. Okay, and if you remember from class, the power in the exponent that's in a fraction form is in power over root. Okay, so what that tells me is that I have one of the parentheses underneath of a square root. So what does that look like? It looks like a square root of 3n minus 5 equals, a square root of n plus 1. Okay. Now notice I can't necessarily do step number 1, which says get my root alone, because I have two roots, one on the left, one on the right. What you want to be careful for is that there's a plus 1 in front of them. You don't want to have a negative out front. So if you need to move them to the opposite side, okay, you can. Okay, you can add them to both sides and then they just switch sides of the equation. Okay? Now, what do we have to do to get rid of these square roots? Well, we need to square both sides. So step number 1 is done, they're alone. Step number 2 is I need to square in order to get rid of a square root. Okay, the entire left side in parentheses, square it. The entire right side in parentheses, square that one. Okay, the squaring cancels out the square root, I get 3n minus 5. The squaring cancels out the square root, I get n plus 1. And now, hopefully all you have to see is you collect your n's on one side. I'm going to choose to move them to the right side, just because I want to see what that turns out to be. Okay, let me move this up a little bit, so I end up with negative 5 equals negative 2n plus 1. Okay, you probably move them to the other side, and you should still get the exact same answer. I'm just choosing to do it this way to show you a different way to do it. Minus 1 from both sides. I end up with negative 6 equals negative 2n. And when I divide both sides by negative 2, I get that n equals a positive 3. Okay? So, and again, I'm going to walk you through checking that real quick because I want to make sure that's the right answer before I have to check my homework tomorrow. So if I plug this in, it's going to be 3 times 3 minus 5 underneath of the square root equals 3 plus 1 under the square root. Well, that right-hand side you know is 4, and the square root of 4 is just 2, so that's pretty okay. This guy right here becomes 9 minus 5 underneath, which again is the square root of 4, which also equals 2. So this is the right answer, n equals 3. You don't have to mark it wrong tomorrow.